Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. It's JMA Friday today, so having a look at month ahead from the Japanese and CFS V2 models. As always on a Friday, it's going to take us more or less to the end of August. So we're going up to the end of summer 2016, at least statistical summer 2016, with this update. Of course, meteorologically it's questionable because you can get summer weather well before the defined summer period, and you get summer weather well after the defined summer period into September and October. But statistically, it's always useful to have a defined period, and summer is defined statistically as the 1st of June to the 31st of August. So we're going more or less to the end of summer with this update. Going on with that, though, just to say about the charity event that we are running at GazOverviews.com. So throughout July, we've been running a charity fundraiser for the Warwickshire and Northamptonshire Air Ambulance. This is almost finished now. I've got a couple of days left to run over the weekend, but I'm going to draw a close to it on the end of Sunday. At the end of Sunday evening, we will have the grand total of the amount that we've managed to raise throughout the month of July for Warwickshire and Northamptonshire Air Ambulance. So you've just got a couple of days left to donate. So far, we have had 68 donations, and that's taken us to a phenomenal amount of money. We've raised £1,056.54, and a huge thank you to everybody that's got us up to this point. Actually, it's more than that when we add on gift day, and I haven't spoken about gift aid really, but you can add even more to the charity's amount. It doesn't cost you anything if you enable gift aid. So at the end of this on Sunday evening, we're going to add the actual total to the gift aid, and there's been a check as well that's been sent through to the air ambulance that have been made aware of. So we'll add it all together, and we'll come up with a grand total on Sunday evening. It'll be very interesting to see how high we have got with this. But if you want to donate, then there's two ways you can do it. You can come to our Just Giving page. I'll leave the link in the description box of YouTube. There's links throughout GazOverviews.com. So click that link, you'll come to this page, you'll know it's the right page because it's got the GazOverviews logo, it says Galleon's page, and it's also a write-up about why we are raising this money. To click to donate, you click the yellow donate button, and that takes you through to another page where very safely and securely you can put in your card details, your credit or debit card details, and donate the amount of money that you would like to donate or that you can afford to donate. JustGiving.com is a hugely secure and safe website, so you don't need to worry about your card details not being safe. The other way of doing it is to do it via text, and to do that you have to use our code, which is GWVS77. The amount that you would like to donate, could be anything from £1 upwards, you text that to 770, and if you pay as you go, money will simply be deducted from the balance that you've got. If you pay via a bill, the amount will go on to your next bill, onto your next bill cycle, and you will pay it then. But your mobile phone carrier will pay the money out straight away. So, for example, if you're with Vodafone, they will pay the money you donate straight to the charity, and then you'll pay them when your next bill comes in. Don't forget to get the bill payer's permission, of course. So, a huge thanks to everybody for doing this for us. The air ambulance is completely free of charge. They don't get any money from the government in terms of taxation. They don't get any money from the National Health Service. They rely completely on charitable donations, and everything from the helicopter right way down to smallest plasters has to be paid for via your donation. It costs £1,700 to do one call out. They do 1,000 call outs a year, so it gives you an idea of the scale of the operation and the amount of money that is needed to keep the show on the road, or to keep the helicopter in the air, perhaps. So big thanks to everybody that's donated so far. It's still a couple of days to donate, and just say thanks for doing that. Right, let's get on with the update, man. We're going to start with 500 millibar height anomalies from the Japanese model. Then we'll have a look at the CFS V2. So, these break down to week periods first of all. The first week period takes us from the week that we're currently in, the 29th of July, through to the 5th of August. As you know, 500 millibar height splits extrapolates to low pressure and yellow. Orange and brighter colours always extrapolate to high pressure. So for the coming week, we've got a trough of low pressure in the Atlantic and then running to the north of the UK. Quite a deep trough, actually. That's a little bit shades of autumn, really. Ridges down to the south, and the jet streams coming through the country. So that looks quite cool and quite changeable, I would have thought, for the coming week. I expect bouts of rain, particularly so in the north and west, and temperature's probably not all that great as well. Notice we've got a bit of blocking around Greenland also. That's not normally a very good sign in the summer. Week 2, which goes from the 5th of August through to the 12th, looks like this. Building a ridge in the Atlantic, so the Atlantic is becoming rather blocked off. Trough of low pressure to the northeast of Scotland. It means that the jet stream and the flow is probably going something a bit like that. It should be drier, I would have thought, through that week, away from northern east parts of Scotland, but it could be quite cool. The flow between the trough and the ridge is going to be coming down from a northwesterly type direction, so it's not going to be a heat wave of a week by any means. If that comes off, temperature's probably cooler than average, but at least a bit drier than the first week. And then weeks 3 and 4, which takes us from the 12th through to 26th of August, so going up towards the end of the month. And this doesn't look very good at all. It's placing a trough of low pressure right over the top of the country. Look at that. That's very poor chart. The jet stream also is running to the south of us. It's a big holiday time. I myself are going to be away for a few days during this period, and it's not great at all. Trough of low pressure is centering itself over top of the UK. We're on the cool side of the jet, so cool, unsettled showers or longer spells of rain basically sums it up from that chart. That is a pretty poor chart for the middle of August. Caveat being it's quite a way off, so maybe not worth worrying too much about, but certainly it's a poor trend there from the JMA for August. Now, seeing how all this stacks up with temperature and precipitation anomalies, we're going to have a look at the tropical and mid-latitude view. So the British Isles on this chart is just here in the far top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. Just a reminder of the setup during week 1, 29th through to the 5th of August, and we've got the trough of low pressure very close to the UK and out in the Atlantic. It's a bit of a ridge down to the south, and the jet stream is coming through a bit like that. So if we have a look at how the temperatures are developing through the course of the coming week, they're generally on the cooler side of average, so that looks quite poor. And precipitation, that's generally coming out above average, so cooler and wetter than average for the coming week is the prediction from the JMA. Week 2, which is the 5th through to the 12th of August, we build the ridge out to the west of us. We got the trough of low pressure up to the northeast. I thought jet stream probably coming from a northerly, northwesterly type direction. It should be a drier week. Temperature anomaly is still generally coming out cooler than average again through that week. And although I thought it's probably a drier week because we're blocking off the Atlantic, the precipitation anomaly is still generally coming out above average, so still wetter than average is the signal there from the 5th through 12th of August. I think that's probably a bit pessimistic. I would have thought, given the setup, we should probably be a bit drier through that week, albeit temperatures wouldn't be particularly exciting. And then weeks 3 and 4, we're just placing that trough right over top of the UK, and we're sending the jet stream to the south of it. So temperature anomalies, actually, they come up a little bit through this week, or this couple of weeks. They do recover slightly. It's going ever so more towards average, maybe a little bit above average, even though we're placing the trough over the top of the country. Precipitation, well, you'll not be surprised with the trough centering itself right over top of the UK. Precipitation is coming out significantly wetter than average. I'm not sure about the temperatures. They could be coming out generally a little bit above average, generally because of just cloudy, wet nights, something like that. But overall, it does look a pretty grim signal, this, for August. It looks generally a very unsettled month. Temperatures, okay, they do go a bit above average for weeks 3 and 4, but I think overall temperatures would be pretty disappointing. Because the further on you get into August, if you've got cloudy, wet days, it's going to start to feel quite autumnal. You're going to start to get more dampness in the air the further on you get into August. So it's not a very good signal at all, this, from the JMA for August. Let's have a look at the CFS V2. These are 500 millibar heights again, broken down into weekly periods. The first week period taking us from the 29th of July through to 4th of August. Placing a trough of low pressure to the east and northeast, thus building a ridge out to the west. So that's blocking off the Atlantic a bit. The jet stream is going rather like that. So it's placing us on the cool side of the jet. Again, west areas probably get the driest weather. The east and north probably most unsettled. It's not a washout, I wouldn't have thought, but temperatures would be quite disappointing. We move through to the second week, which is the 5th through to the 11th of August. And trough of low pressure more or less being centred over the UK. So again, this is quite a poor signal from the CFS V2. It's stiffing a little bit on a week-by-week basis compared to the JMA in the exact detail. But the overall idea and direction of traffic is still very much the same, which is unsettled. And you would have thought rather cool temperatures as well with the jet stream going like that. Week 3 also looks very poor. It's got a ridge of above average heights around Greenland, trough of low pressure very close to the UK. This is from the 12th through to the 18th of August. Again, the jet stream's doing something like that, so it looks cool and unsettled. Temperatures almost certainly would be cooler than average. You probably have above average rainfall as well. And then to round it all off, week 4, which is the 19th through to 25th of August, no real improvement. Still below average heights, very close to the UK. Some sort of above average heights in the Atlantic, south of Greenland. There is a ridge building around Spain and going into the Mediterranean, but I'm not sure that's doing a great deal for us. And again, the jet stream is going rather like that. We are placed almost onto the cool side of the jet, and with trough of low pressure close to country, it's remaining unsettled. So these signals from the JMA and the CFS V2 look very poor, you have to say, for August. Temperature anomalies looking like this. CFS V2, 29th to 4th of August, generally comes out cooler than average. Week 2 temperature anomalies going from the 5th through to the 11th of August. They're generally coming out cooler than average again. Week 3, the 12th to the 18th of August, comes out very substantially cooler than average. Look at that, into those deep green curves. The scale is on the bottom of the chart, and that's going below 2 Celsius, cooler than average as the anomaly through that middle part of August. That does look rather chilly. And capping it all off, week 4, 19th to 25th of August. That comes out significantly cooler than average as well. Precipitation, well, for the coming week, it's not too bad. It's actually a little bit drier than average, especially in the north and the west. However, week 2, precipitation anomalies, 5th to 11th of August, generally coming out wetter than average, especially in the northwest of the country. We start to weaken the signal, the 12th to the 18th of August, close to average, still a bit wet average in the northwest. I would have thought, given the 500 millibar height anomaly, it's likely to be a wetter than average week there. And then week 4, the 19th, 25th of August, again, losing the signal, but given the setup, I would have thought at least the north is likely to be wetter than average, maybe not as bad in the south. But, I mean, overall, these are really quite poor signals for August. I'm sorry if you've got an event or a holiday planned for August, and I can't give you better news, but You can only go by what the models are showing, and they are quite clearly showing a very substantial and significant deterioration here for August. Now, the caveats are long-range forecasting is always highly experimental, so it isn't to be relied upon. These models chop and change on a week-by-week basis, and I think just got to wait and see whether things are as bad as this. It could well be that they're going over the top. That probably will be a fairly changeable month, but it could be that they're going over the top with these cool, unsettled signals. So let's just wait and see. We shouldn't be writing off August as a complete and total write-off yet, but obviously it's not a great update. Obviously these two models are in agreement, if not on a week-by-week basis in the exact detail, they are in agreement in the general direction of travel for August, which is to be a cool month and an unsettled month with rainfall coming out above average and temperatures coming out below average. We'll see how it goes. It's weekend forecast tomorrow with tried and tested models, looking at GFS. Also tomorrow we've got the latest in terms of what's happening in the Pacific with ENSO. That'll be tomorrow evening. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.